there, Sandra here from Creating Spain. Thanks for joining me today. I'm doing a video today on a scene card and I hope you can actually see it on here. It may be very faint. I've actually embossed the card. Now if you don't have anything to emboss with, you could always draw this on your design with a light coloured pen. So I'm going to take a marker, which is, this particular one is Narteza Sage Green. Now my card is basically grey to start with. I want to add some shadows, so I'm just going to do basic L shapes going down these marked areas. This will enable me to see what I'm doing as I want to increase the shadow. It just makes it easier for me to see, slightly easier anyway. It's a very light shading. There we go. And I'm going to come in with the chisel tip and just do a bit of a stripe down here. It doesn't have to be precisely straight, because the idea is this is shadows not only caused by the actual metal itself, but from things which might be reflecting on it. And then I'm just going to come in with a very, very light, a very, very light grey. Doesn't look very light at the moment. It probably will do, because this will lighten up. I'll turn it around a bit. Sorry, I went out of shot there. This is going to lighten up as it dries. It's just making it look a lot darker at the moment because it's wet. There's virtually no colour in this marker at all. It's very, very pale. There we go. And with the other end, I'm going to go along underneath the line that's here. There we go. This looks very, very rough, and it is supposed to be very simplistic. Roughen up that edge a bit, so it doesn't look like a straight line. And I'm going to do another line on the top edge. So it doesn't look wonderful at the moment, but don't worry about it. For colouring in my leaves, I've chosen two shades of green, and there are Narteza ones. Olive green and moss green. The moss green is the darker one. I'm simply going to use the chunky tip and put some colour in the centre, and then use the chunky tip of the other one to go over the top. And you do get a little variation in colour, but it's not stark. So obviously you don't have to do it in different shades if you don't want to, and you could use different shades. You can use a slightly yellowy green to do the outer edges if you wish. Up to you. But I've got a load of those to do, and I'll come back when they're all done. For my leaves, I've eventually used combinations of moss green, olive green, and a mustardy colour as well, just to lighten and brighten it up a bit. For my giraffe, I've chosen two colours really to do most of it. The first one is jasmine yellow, and for the darker colour I've gone with sienna brown. So I'm not going to do any really fancy colouring on this, it's just, you know, pretty basic, few shadows put in, but just very basic colouring really. So I've cheated slightly. I have blended some blue ink onto this background piece of card, and as you can see it's got different colours in it, and that was entirely by accident. A happy accident as it happened, because I hadn't cleaned my brush out properly and I'd accidentally put it away. Normally I'm very thorough about cleaning my brushes and I hadn't cleaned it off. So there were traces of grey in there, and I then added a little bit of a teal colour as well. So I've got the normal blue, I've got the grey in it, and I've got some teal. But that actually makes a far more realistic looking sky. So I'm quite happy. So this piece here, which is the fencing, I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this and stick it on. Alright, so let's put some glue on the back of this. And stick it down to the bottom of this piece of card. Centre it up, hopefully. I've trimmed the card down to the correct size now because it was slightly too wide. So it should be pretty much right now. Now, before that gets stuck down too well, I need to apply some glue to my giraffe. Now this is tack it over and over, so I should have some wriggle room in this, just in case you're wondering. Just probably just as well. There we are, we have our two giraffes stuck in place. So now I can put the grass on top of here. That's going to go again right on the bottom edge. Press that down. So you can see now that the giraffe are behind a wall. Why is this being done now? Actually, it's being done because of the current situation where everyone is behind walls and not able to go out, etc., etc. When I've got it positioned as I want it, I will stick it down and then I will trim off the excess from around the edges. Now I've stuck my leaves on, I'm letting them dry for a minute or two while I go in with some more shading. This is dark blue light, and I just wanted to add a bit of shading just under where the giraffe are. as if they're casting shadows on there. Put a little bit of shading around the leaf. That's around here. I need to turn around and use that bit instead. That makes more sense. As you can see, this is a very, very, very pale shading. And I like it because it means that I can actually go in a couple of times. I'm not likely to overdo the shading. I can just put more in. As I need to. It'll just very, very gradually darken the area. So just make sure that it's level with the blade. Both. And there we go. I just need my sentiment now. I thought it would be fun to see if you would put some sentiments down below. This is intended just as a little bit of humour, because heaven knows if we don't laugh we'll end up crying our eyes out. So I just thought it would be a fun design, and you could always just send a picture of this to your friends and say, hey, how you doing? Or send it to a neighbour and say, do you need any help? You know, do you need any groceries, etc., etc. All those sorts of things that sometimes people can do for each other in times where things aren't quite so good as they could be. So leave your comments down below and I'll see what I think is best. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye bye.